Hi everybody, it's time for another one of those kind of YouTube channel inspiration, motivation, instructional type videos I do every now and again. So you may well be aware that I've started playing Rust and doing videos on Rust, and I wanted to kind of show you how I use these new experiences with new games or new programs to give me ideas to create content, to actually show kind of how it works. So this is just an example of Rust, and the key to all of this for me is your to-do list. And my to-do list is a simple Google Docs document that I can access on my laptop, I can access it on my phone, and whenever I get ideas I just write them down. An important thing to remember is you should never judge your ideas. Okay, so when you get an idea, record it, write it down. Don't think, oh, this might be bad, this might be good, or I can't do that at this point. The important thing is to write it down. Later on, when you've had a chance to think about it, or think about the mechanics of doing something, it could be that the time for that idea has passed. It's not technically feasible. Actually, it wasn't that good an idea in the first place, but you're glad you got it out. But the important thing is to write it down, because you need to get into that habit. You need to get into that discipline of whenever you come up with an idea, you write it down. And so with Rust, for example, I have to play this through GeForce Now, which gives me certain technical problems that I have to overcome. I have to record it using an old USB capture device on my old laptop. So again, this gives me more technical problems, and these are all questions. And then I want to be able to create instructional videos, which meant that I had to rent a private server, and then I had to mod that private server. And while I'm doing this, I'm thinking, well, how do you do this? How do I do this? And so when I'm asking myself that question to solve these problems for myself so I can do these things, I write them down. So to give you an idea, in fact, this is the idea for this video I'm doing right now, using gameplay to come up with ideas for videos. Obviously, when I've done this, I'll delete this. So as I was mucking around with the thing, it was how to become an admin on your Rust Nitrado server. How to add moderators to your Rust private server. Rust admin console commands for your Rust private server. This is all things I need to learn. I don't know how to do all these things, but I know I will do videos about these probably. How to find short names to spawn items as admin. So one of the things is, when you're an admin on a Rust server, you can just say spawn, you can say give, or you can say add inventory, and it will give you things into your inventory on the ground in front of you. It's really powerful, but they have short names. It's not always obvious, but like in DayZ, when you're trying to figure out what the name is for an AK-47 rifle. How to start modding on your Rust Nitrado private server. How to change the length of day and night time on your Rust Nitrado private server. How to control access to your Rust Nitrado server with a whitelist. How to increase resource spawns and gathering yields on your Rust Nitrado PC server. So that's just from Rust. And in fact, if I scroll down a little bit, what I've also done is, as I was coming up with those ideas, if I was researching those things to actually physically do them, and I was Google searching, how do I add a whitelist to my server? The links to the articles that showed me how to do it, I've added below in my list. And then, in fact, what this is up here this is where I've edited it a little bit, and I've kind of made it like a to-do list for like today. These are the videos I want to try and crack on with doing. And what will happen is, as I'm trying to do these things, I'll have more ideas. And so again, they go into the list. But again, I don't judge the idea. As soon as I have an idea, I write it down. And then when I come back to it, actually, so an example could well be, if we come down here, where we got, so I've got one about installing Archon on your Rust server. So Archon is the remote console or remote connection program you need to use to do certain commands. Now that may well end up being part of how to start modding on your Rust Nitrado server. They might become part of the same video. They might not actually be different videos. So yeah, so there you go. That's kind of the mechanics of my list. And the idea of this is that when you actually have the spare time to make the videos, you're not trying to rack your brains about coming up with ideas, because that's coming up with ideas is often the hardest bit. You know, we all have writer's block, or you think, oh, what can I do next? And if you can get into that discipline of, as soon as you get an idea, not judging it, just writing it down for so you can look at it later, then you'll find you'll have way more ideas. You'll have more ideas for your YouTube gaming channel or your Twitch streaming channel or Mixer. You'll have way more ideas than you can possibly make videos for. In fact, kind of to show you that, if you scroll up to here, what I do is every now and again I go through and I have all the games that I may well be playing regularly, and I write ideas for those games underneath these titles, and then I'll copy them into this main sort of to-do list. I mean, some of these I'll never get around to doing. Like, I really want to do a whole series of videos on how to create a Discord, but I just haven't got the time to do that. In fact, you know, I probably won't do any more World War Z or Battlefield 5 content, so that's probably never going to happen. DayZ, I've still got lots of DayZ content that I've got here that I haven't done. Now actually this is a little bonus for the video. I know I've done a video about this already, but if you're ever stuck for ideas about something, so you just have certain types of questions like hows, what, when, where, who, why. So for example with Rust, so how do I? So then you can go to Google or YouTube and go Rust game. How do I? Oh, right. So how does it work? You know, people want to know about that, and you can go through that entire list to come up with those questions, which will give you ideas to answer those questions in your videos. Okay, that's enough for me. Hopefully you found that a bit useful, and I'll see you again soon.